Good afternoon, this is Mark Arsem Del Mundo from 1A1. This is my video reflection about Lesson 5 in Introduction to Criminology. First is the Lesson 5, which is Juvenile Delinquency and Victimology. In this Lesson 5, first is the delinquency. Refers to any action, course of conduct that deviates from acts approved by the majority of people. It is a description of those acts that do not conform to the accepted rules, norms, and mores of the society. A general term for any misconduct or misbehavior that is tantamount to felony or offense. It is, however, distinct crime in the sense that the former may be in form of violation of law. Juvenile crime denotes various offenses committed by children or youths under the age of 18, such acts are sometimes referred to as juvenile delinquency. Juvenile delinquency is used to describe a large number of disapproved behaviors of children or youth. Acts of juvenile delinquency include violation of laws such as those defined by juvenile code and laws. An anti-act or behavior of a minor which deviates from the normal pattern of the rules and regulation, customs, and cultures which society does not accept, in which there justifies some kind of punishment or corrective measures. Juvenile refers to the person of tender year. A minor, a youth, or those who are not emancipated by law. Those who are below the age of majority refers to a person below 18 years of age, or those but are unable to fully take care of themselves from abuse, neglect, cruelty, exploitation, or discrimination because of physical or mental disability or condition. RA 6809, an act lowering the age of majority from 21 to 18 and amending such purpose, EO 209, approved on December 13, 1989. Delinquency refers to the failure to perform an act required by law or non-performance of a duty or obligation that is mandated by existing law rule. Next is delinquent. Delinquent is one whose behavior has brought a minor or child repeated conflict with the law. One who has committed an offense that violated the approved norms or conducted is guilty of misdeed. Status offense, an act or omission which is committed by adult may not considered punishable but which are generally considered wrong once committed by a minor, such as first is truancy or frequent unreasonable absenteeism from school, curfew violation, loitering, running away from home without justifiable cause, use of profane language, smoking and drinking alcoholic beverages, disobedience to parents, guardians, or school officials, mendicancy or begging in the streets, association with delinquent gangs. Stages of delinquency. First is emergence. The child begins with a pretty journey between 8 and sometime during the 12th year. Exploration. He then may move on to shoplifting and vandalism between ages 12 to 14. Explosion. At age 13, substantial increase in variety and seriousness. Conflagration. At around 15, 4 or more types of crime are added. Outbursts, those who continue, and adulthood with progress into more sophisticated or more violent forms of criminal behavior. Factors which may lead to juvenile delinquency. First is faulty development of the child, lack of parental guidance, parental rejection, broken homes, lack of love, unfair treatment, too harsh discipline by either or both of the parents, too lenient discipline by either or both the parents' indifference to their children. Prevention of juvenile delinquency. The role of the different sectors. First, family shall be responsible for the primary nurturing and rearing of children, which is critical in delinquency prevention. Educational institution shall work together with families, community organizations, and agencies in the prevention of juvenile delinquency and in the rehabilitation and reintegration of child in conflict with the law. Last is mass media shall play an active role in the promotion of child rights and delinquency prevention by relaying consistent message through a balanced approach. Philippine laws affects children. PD 798, which is the Transi Law. RA 6809, which is lowering the age of majority from 21 to 18 years old. RA 7658 noong November 9, 1993 nasabing prohibiting the enjoyment of children below 15 years of age in public or private undertakings, and RA 9231 noong December 90, 2003 amended provision of RA 760 Section 12 on child labor. Next is RA 8552, the Domestic and Adoption Act of 1998, enacted February 25, 1998. RA 8043, the Inter-Country Adoption Act. RA 8369, Family Courts Act of 1997. Next is RA 9255, Law on the use of father's surname of illegitimate children. RA 9523 noong March 12, 2009 amended certain procedures on adoptions. RA 9344, the Juvenile Justice Welfare Act of 2006, approved April 28, 2006, effective May 14, 2006. RA 9775, Child Pornography Act of 2009. SA Administrative Matter Number 02118 SC should rule on juvenile in conflict with the law. NAPOLCOM Resolution Number 2009-415. Police Manual on the Management of Cases in CICL. Proclamation Number 74 S1 1992 declaring the 17th day of October of every year as National Children's Day. RA 10630, an act strengthening the juvenile justice system in the Philippines, amending RA 9344, approved on October 3, 2003. Victimology. Victimology is the study of victims and their patterns of victimization from the perspective that question is not certain individuals or groups engage in criminal behavior. Instead, the emphasis on the explaining why certain people or groups experience victimization at certain times and certain places. The demographics of criminal victimization. Violent crimes rates individuals between the ages of 12 and 24 have the greatest chance becoming the victims of crime, especially violent crimes, generally from the early to mid-20s. As one gets older, the rate of victimization decreases, with those older than ages 65 having the lowest rate of victimization for all crimes across gender race. Females most often are victimized by someone they know. Females report that more than the three-fourths or 78% of those who violently victimize them are known to them. Situational characteristics of victimization. Victimization is more likely to occur in the places where there is high density of high-risk social groups. Urban centers hold the bulk of those living at or below the poverty level in the United States, and the victimization rate for cities reflects this fact in 2002. In 2002, urban residents had a rate of violent victimization nearly 1.5 times that of rural residents. Suburban and rural residents were victimized at similar rates. Theoretical explanation for victimization. National data support the observation that crime victimization is not a random. If this is the case, then what are the factors that influence who is victimized and when the victimization occurs? Scholars who study victimization construct theories to explain why some people are victims and others not. The most prominent explanation as to the cause of victimization are victim precipitation theories and lifestyle theories of victimization. Victim precipitation theories. These theories are based on the concept that victims themselves precipitate, contribute to provoke, or actually cause the outcomes. The facts of victim precipitation. Victim contribution refers to the person actions or lack of action that makes victimization more likely. Victim proneness. This implies that some individuals or groups have quality that makes them more likely to become victims of crimes. Third is the victim provocation theory suggests that the victim is the primary cause of his or her victimization. Marvin Wolfgang's 1958 study of the Philadelphia homicides taken from the police records for the year 1948 to 1952 brought the concept of victim provocation into the mainstream of criminological thought. Lifestyle theories of victimization. These theories seek to explain why victimization can differ in quantity but remain the same in quality. Theory of personal victimization. Lifestyle stands at the centerpiece of the theory of personal victimization because it is the patterned routines of a person's everyday activities that predict the changes or of exposure to high-risk situations. Differential associations refers to the concept that people who associated regularly with others engaged in unlawful behavior are more likely to victimize because of their increased exposure to high-risk situations and environments. Differential opportunities. Differential opportunities are determined by the structure of our everyday lives. Routine activities theory. Another theory of victimization focuses on the context of crime in the terms of opportunities for victimization. Routine activities approach. The routine activities approach to crime is limited to an explanation for predatory crime. Predatory victimization. Predatory victimization depends on the interaction of three variables in a social situation. First is the social presence of at least one likely offender. Second is the presence of at least one suitable target. Third is the absence of capable guardians who might prevent the crime. Routine activities theory. Offender or rational thinker, suitable target person or thing, capable guardian. Cohen and Person's theory emphasize that crime does not occur in a vacuum. Rational choice theory of crime. The key assumption of routine activities theory is the idea that crime is motivated through rational choice. Rational choice theory is based on the fundamental belief that human behavior is directed towards those things that bring pleasure or benefit or that minimize painful, unpleasant experience. Next is target hardening. Target hardening is the foundation for many popular crime reduction programs. Prevention programs such as neighborhood watch programs to increase the level of lighting in the streets and neighborhoods, and surveillance cameras are based on the assumption that these changes will cause the potential criminal to evaluate the risk of committing a crime in these target hardened environments. Target hardening is one of the key components or defense against terrorist attacks in the United States. Particularly attractive targets of terrorism such as commercial aviation, nuclear reactors, federal building instructive, and have been examined for the vulnerability, and additional security measures have been taken to make it more difficult to attack the targets. General cases of victim: the young, the weak by virtue of age and immaturity; the female, often less physically powerful and easily dominated by males; the old, the incapable of physical defense and the common object of confidence scheme; the mentally defective; those who are unable to think clearly. Fifth is the immigrant, those who are unsure of the rules of conduct in the surrounding society; and the last is the minorities. Racial prejudice may lead to the victimization or unequal treatment by the agency of justice. Visual, visual, psychological types of victims: the depressed, those submissive by virtue of emotional condition. Second is acquisitive or greedy, the value or act of wanting more people, such individuals, into victimization. Third is the wanton or overly sensual, those ruled by passion and through toplessly seeking pleasure. The fourth is the lonesome, similar to acquisitive type of victim by virtue of wanting companionship or affection. Fifth is the heartbroken, those emotionally disturbed by virtue of heartaches and pains. The last is the tormentor, the type of victim who asks for it, often from his own family or friends. That is the lesson 5, the juvenile victimology and juvenile delinquency and victimology. Thank you.